talk to you all a little bit today about freedom. About freedom. But before I talk about freedom, I want to talk to you all about family. Family. See, I always wanted to be a dad. It's one of the passions of mine. Since I've been a little kid, I wanted to be a husband, I wanted to be a father. I don't know why, I just loved kids. I feel like I'm a big kid, right? That's something that I really, really wanted. And so by the grace of God, I got a chance to get married, and after a little bit of practice, we had our first son. And the grace of God. We have 3 kids now, a 7-year-old boy named Caleb, a 5-year-old girl named Sophia, a 3-year-old boy named Kelechi. And I'm excited about it, but nobody told me how hard it would be. Nobody told me that when you see your kids, they are a reflection of you. Nobody told me about the pain and the anger and the frustration and the doubt and the fear that you would see, the insecurity that you would see in yourself while looking at your kids. And I understand we all don't have kids here. Nobody told me that. It's just a few days ago, kids were home from school and they weren't feeling great, so I was kind of helping. My wife wasn't feeling great, so I was kind of, showering my youngest one, right? Then helping with the 5-year-old, right? And my 7-year-old boy, my son, right? Big man, he's like, Daddy, can you shower me? I was like, no, dude, you're 7, right? Figure it out, right? That's straight up. I was like, you're 7. And he's like, but daddy. I was like, dude, you're 7, right? And he's like, but my legs are itching and I'm scratching this and that. Like, you know what I mean? I'm like, dude, figure it out. Like, you'll be fine. He's like, well, did you shower yourself at 7? I was like, I don't know. I think maybe, right? But I was like, dude, just do it. Just do it. I did it. You can do it. Like, you'll be fine. 7 years old, he looked at me, he said, well, Daddy, I'm not you. I'm not you. You think, where would a statement like that come from? Statements like those don't just come out of thin air. It comes from experience. It probably comes from a father like me looking at his son, and like you heard Tom talk about, instead of saying, I love you, I'm for you, I'm with you, I'm proud of you, saying, we got to do this better. Man, if you only did that better. And even when I don't say it, right, I remember helping him with assignments. I was on my flight over here yesterday, saw this beautiful young mom helping her daughter with assignments so calmly and patiently. I'm like, dude, when I'm with my kids, I'm like, dude, come on, figure it out. Straight up. I don't know, you know what I mean? But he's like, I'm not you. And the interesting thing that happened after that comment, which wouldn't have happened and hadn't happened years ago, is that I felt free. After he told me that, I felt free. As you know, my name is Sam Acho. I played in the NFL for 9 years for the Arizona Cardinals, the Chicago Bears, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Played for the Bills for a hot minute as well. I'm currently an ESPN analyst, arguing with Stephen A. Smith on TV all the time. So I'm tempted to argue with you all, but it's not an argument session right now. This is a conversation. But before all of that, God has been teaching me about me. Right? How do you go from, my parents were born and raised in Nigeria. I have 3 siblings, right? Grew up in Dallas. Wasn't going to play football. Like, it wasn't my passion, wasn't my goal, wasn't my dream. For me, I love learning, right? I love academics. That was always my thing. But I got a chance to go to this football camp my junior year at USC, University of Southern California, back in 05, 06, back with Pete Carroll, Reggie Bush, right? The powerhouse. I went to this football camp by accident. My younger brother, Emmanuel, he like on Saturdays, he's like watching football. On Saturdays, I was watching cartoons. That was like the thing that I didn't even care, right? He heard about this football camp. He said, hey, we should go to this camp. My dad said, all right, let's go. It was in California. We were in Texas. We had family. We had friends. We went out to this camp. We show up. What we didn't realize is that it was an invite-only camp. Y'all see where it's going. We weren't invited. And not only was it an invite-only camp, it was a top 300 camp, i.e. the top 300 players from the state of California. Not invited, top 300 camp. So we show up to this camp. We didn't know it was an invite only. We kind of show up. We were kind of bigger kids, whatever. My dad is a smooth talker, right? And so somehow, some way, we get to this camp, and we go to this camp. We get in, and I'm doing drills and kind of going and doing my thing. And it was a kind of a 2-day or 2-part camp. So like part one or day one, I went as a tight end, right? I played offense and defense. And I was average at best at tight end. But when I went to defensive end, I really shined. So day 2 of the camp, I switch over, right? Because all these other they're better than me. I'm like, let me go over here, right? So I go to defense, I'm just doing my thing, right? Like just one-on-ones and winning. And all of a sudden we're going like from drill to drill, station to station, et cetera, and I get pulled back. Out of my group, out of my section, out of the whole kind of committee that we had, I get pulled back. And I'm thinking, well, like everybody else is going this way. Why are y'all telling me to go this way? Like, don't worry about it. So I go back to those one-on-one drills with the top 300 players from the entire state. I'm doing my thing, beating the guys in front of me. And so I'm like, all right, trying to catch back up with all the other guys. And as I'm walking back with one of the coaches who pulled me back, I'm like, hey, coach, what was that about? Like, I was in the front. I was doing great. Like, what was that about? He said, well, Sam, you are doing a great job, but we needed you to go back and do those drills again because the head coach, Pete Carroll, wanted to see you in person. Wow. So we finished those drills, finished that camp, and all of a sudden after this top 300 camp, me and 5 other players get called up to Pete Carroll's office. He'd offered us a scholarship. So this guy who didn't know he was going to go and play and do these things all of a sudden gets a scholarship to USC while other schools had heard that they had offered, and all of a sudden I get offers from all the schools in the nation. But even then, I didn't feel adequate. I didn't feel like I was enough. I remember being a freshman in college, and we had stars on our team, right? Guys like Jamal Charles, who track star, superstar, Colt McCoy in college, winning his college coach. And I remember just going there and being like, Coach, I can't do this. You're asking me to guard this guy and cover this guy. I can't do this. And little by little, step by step, I got better. I started to kind of believe a little bit more. But somewhere inside, there was always this deal of like, I have to achieve. Because if I don't achieve, if I don't get it, if I don't make it, I'm not enough. I remember even getting, probably was my freshman or sophomore year, right, as I started to get more confident in who God made me to be and who I was, there was this meeting we had, about 20 of us, right? We were the recruits from all over the nation. And we had a coach who said, hey, there's about 18, 20 of you. I want each of you to, he actually started off this way before he said that. He said, here's the deal. Like, all of you aren't making it to the NFL. In fact, out of the 18 or 20 of you guys, about a third of you all are going to be kicked out or drop out. 30 of you guys are going to go through injuries, won't even get on the field. 30 of you guys are going to go to the next level. I remember looking to my left, right, 1 out of 3, looking to my right, 1 out of 3, and I said, okay, I like my odds. I could do this, right? I can do this, right? You are not disciplined, so I'll be good on you, right? Injury from, right? I like my odds, right? But it was this deal of I gotta go, I gotta grind, I gotta achieve, I have to go, I have to grind, I have to achieve. But not just on football, even in the classroom, there's this deal of I gotta go and grind and achieve. I didn't feel like I was enough. Didn't feel like I was enough. Even in class, as I mentioned, I was always worried about the grade more than the content. It's from a guy who I love learning. I love math. I can recite Shakespeare, right? I can give you the Canterbury Tales in Middle English. That's me. I can tell you pi to the 14th decimal. 3.1415926539897. We can go on and on, right? That's me. But there was something where it was well, no, let me get the grade. Let me make people happy. Let me people please, because that's what they want. And if I do that, they'll love me. If I do that, then I'll be enough. And then I met this teacher, this professor, this mentor. His name is Dr. Prabhudev Konana. He taught a class called MIS 300 Honors, right? It was the honors program, all these things. remember having like a C in his class about halfway through, and he told me something that kind of opened up my eyes to who I was, as opposed to who I thought I needed to be. He said, Sam, you are brilliant. You are brilliant. So I need you to do two things. Number one, fall in love with the content. And secondly, forget about the grade. If you fall in love with the content, the grade will come. Don't worry about the A's and B's. Fall in love with what you are doing. Fall in love with the people around you. Fall in love with the content. The grade will come. You're brilliant. He gave me this affirmation. I had another affirmation from a friend of mine who, I was getting ready for the NFL draft, and I didn't know what to expect. And people were like, "Well, Sam, you're such a great guy, yada yada. Don't ever change. Don't let the NFL or the money, fame, the success, right? Don't let all these things change you." And I'm like, I haven't had any of that, so how do I know if it's going to change me? And this guy kind of reminded me a truth I think a lot of us need to hear and remember. And the reason why is I think a lot of us, for whatever reason, we're after money and fame and power, right? We want to achieve and conquer. And he told me this. He said, Sam, all that money is, fame, success, it's a magnifying glass. So it doesn't change who you are. It just kind of expands on what you've been doing. So if you were a giver before money and fame, you're going to give more. If you were a hoarder before, you're going to continue to hoard. If you were doing dirt kind of behind the scenes that people didn't know about before, there's opportunities for that to grow as well. It's going to expose your heart and expose who you are. For whatever reason, up to that point, I still hadn't worked on my heart. Fall in love with the content. The grade will come. You're brilliant. But also, there's some heart issues that you need to work on. I think we all individually know kind of what those are. Fall in love. As I progressed through my NFL career, success by the grace of God did follow, right? The average is 3 years. I played 9. Right? I finally, about year 7 or year 8, signed this multi-year, kind of like multi-million-dollar contract. I had made it. Or so I thought. Even though on the outside, things were good, right? I was married now, I had kids, spot on the team, secure, had money. On the inside, I was struggling. I wasn't being the kind of husband that I knew that God had made me to be. Wasn't loving my wife well. Wasn't honoring our marriage, honoring our relationship. Wasn't being the kind of father I wanted to be. I would snap at my kids. I would get so angry. I couldn't even look at them with love because it was all about comparing what you are not as opposed to who God made you. I didn't see them for who they were. I saw the flaws and failures in me instead of seeing the goodness of God in them. I had some work to do. You heard Pastor Tom talk about it a little bit earlier, community, right? Mentors, friends. I had by the grace of God. Only by the grace of God. And I think this is really important. I had a friend of mine, call him a mentor, who I was finally honest with. And that was when things changed. Just signed that deal, right? Everybody's happy and excited, and I'm miserable. But I didn't feel like I could share that with anybody because, right, I'm the guy. I'm the guy with the answers. I'm the guy with the grades. I'm the guy with the things and the smile and the joy and all the things. And by the grace of God, I had a chance to sit down with a friend of mine, a mentor. And as we're sitting down, I start to share with him some of that anger, the doubt, the confusion, my struggles. Like I'm telling him everything. I don't know what my relationship with my kids is going to look like right now. I don't have any friends. Like conversations like those. And I remember saying, we were in the off season, like a 3-month off season. And I remember saying, we get back to football in a week, right? I'll be back with my team. I'll be back with the guys. And once I get back, like in a schedule with my team, then everything will be okay. All my issues before, it'll be fine. I'll figure it out, like we'll be good. I'll be back in the grind and schedule. And he looked at me and he said, Sam, if that's how you feel right now, he said, I'm concerned about what happens when football ends for you. Concerned about your marriage. Concerned about all your relationships. Like I'm really concerned for you. I was honest with this dude. Everything. And as I started to kind of share with him and he shared with me, I began to cry. And this guy had known me, like we'd done business deals together. We had like traveled together. Like this guy's known me really well. I'm beginning like to weep. Didn't want anybody to see that side of me. The emotional, the loving, the caring. But I'm crying, I'm weeping, and as I'm weeping in front of my friend who's like I said, we've done life together, but he hadn't seen the real me. He looked at me and he said, Sam, it's really nice to see you. I'm like, what do you mean? Usually it's the smile, the joy, the contract. He said, it's nice to see you. It's nice to know that you are human. It's good to see you. He said, you never know. Maybe God is writing a book in your life, and you may only be on chapter 2. And I'm like, dude, if you know what I've been through, this is like volume 7. Like, you need to chill, He said, you may only be on chapter 2. He said, I recommend, maybe it might make sense to go and talk to a counselor, therapist, talk to somebody, right? He was going through some stuff as well. He just found out that his wife, he's 40 some years old, his wife had got cancer. Working through that. He had 4 daughters. He just lost his job, working through that. He had just gotten to talk to somebody. So he's like, hey, man, I recommend if you do that. And so I did. What I failed to mention is my dad is a psychologist. He's a marriage counselor. He's a mental health therapist. So I kind of know how to navigate the questions. But I said, okay, I'll go. I'll go. He said, it's nice to see you. So the next week, the day we reported a training camp, we report that evening, 2 in the afternoon or so. That morning at 10 a.m., I'm in a therapist's office. And I figure I'm going to just get in and get out, check the box, do my thing, and move on. And as I'm sitting there, I think it's another important thing for us to do, right? Take time alone. Before I walked in that office, I was sitting outside on the couch by myself with my thoughts, with the Lord, right? So I sit in, I walk inside, and we're kind of doing small talk. And as we're talking, he asked me a question, which I think will get to the point of freedom, point of authenticity. As I'm sitting in, we're kind of talking, as I mentioned, and he said, Sam, I have a question for you. What do you do when you get angry? What's your go-to? What do you do when you get angry? And I said, well, that's easy. Just try not to get angry. He said, okay, I'll ask you again. What do you do when you get angry? And I said, I just try not to get angry. He said, Sam, everybody gets angry. So what do you do when you get angry? Knowing there was really no place to go at that time, right? I couldn't run, couldn't hide. I began to cry. See, our body keeps the score. Our body keeps a score. As I kind of walked in, I was kind of sitting on the side, just sitting and observing. And I'm so glad and honored that all of us men are here, right? Thank you all for being here. But even as I was sitting and I was observing and I was hanging out, like a lot of us men, our postures were kind of just like this. Not even just here, but in life. Protection. Safety. Power. We walk around like this. Try me. Try me. Let me see if you're for real or not. Let me see if you're enough or not before you tell me who I am. I feel like what God is trying to remind us of is that we, in fact, are enough. As I'm sitting in the counselor's office, I begin to cry. What do you do when you get angry? I begin to cry, and it wasn't just like a drop. It was like I was like hyperventilating kind of cry, right? I'm like, I don't know where it was coming from. I'm not like a crier. I mean, I am, but I'm not. Like, I don't know what I tell y'all. Like, I'm not like a real, like, but I was like, and he said, Sam, I need you to breathe. I'm like, Sam, I need you to breathe. I'm like, and so he says, Sam, he said, I'm like, I couldn't speak. He says, I'm going to put my hand on your chest. I need you to breathe. Sam, I'm going to put my hand on your stomach. I need you to breathe. It's nice to see you, Sam. And oh, by the way, get used to hearing that. That's what he told me. Like, is this some kind of setup? Like, he told me that, you told me, what's going on? For the first time probably in my life, I changed from my posture of this to this. I changed from my posture of protection to a posture of receiving because I knew I wasn't okay. And I think the issue with us, a lot of men, is we always want to be okay. We feel like we have to be okay or need to be okay. We feel like we have to show people the great sides of us and not show them the other sides of us. And God says it's okay not to be okay. It's nice to see you. The real you. The whole you. So he says that to me. And he says, and oh, by the way, get used to hearing that. Get used to hearing that. He recommended from there, he's like, I don't know if you journal at all. I recommend you probably bring out a pen and paper, start journaling. I'm not sure if you're a big music guy, but maybe you should start listening to music. And I mean, if you're available, I'll see you next week. So I'm like, all right. So I leave that meeting, drive to training camp. My team now, the guys, the fellas, the squad, right? We have our first kind of team meeting. I go to my dorm room, turn on some music. I bring out a journal, and once again, these tears are starting to flow. God was doing something in my heart. And so kind of have that, and I'm writing and doing my thing. I wake up the next morning, have our conditioning test with the team. Guys, after that, it was like 1,500-yard sprints. We do that, we leave, guys, hop in the shower real quick, went to go eat. I just went back to the locker room and I sat down. I just sat there. Because there was something kind of weighing in me that I didn't know what to really do with. As I'm sitting there, a teammate of mine walked in. He sees me. This guy's name is Nick. He sees me and he says, hey, Acho, are you good? Are you good? My usual answer, probably like most of you, would be like, oh, I'm fine, tired, long day, the run was a beast, it was easy. It was easy. But I was like, usually I'd be like, I'm fine, long day, I'm tired, but he said, are you good? And I looked at him like this. It's like, you know what? Nah. I'm not doing good. He said, I don't know what you're going through, what you've been going through. But whatever it is, you need to let it out. Whatever it is, you need to let it out. In the locker room now, mind you. So I kind of look around. See how my posture just went like that? I didn't even plan it. I kind of look around and I sit down, or sitting down already. As I'm sitting there in the locker room now, a tear begins to fall in front of my teammates. Dude pulls up a chair and sits next to me. Another dude walks in and sees what's going on, and he immediately goes from the door he walked in. Mind you, it's a locker room, so we got music banging, we got rap music banging, country music banging, like it's just the speaker or whatever. He goes straight to the speaker and changes the music from the rap or the country that was banging to worship music. And not just any kind of worship music. It happened. 7 out of the 8 songs that were played were the same songs I was listening to the night before. Songs about God's love for me. Songs like Marvin Sapp, like he saw the best in me. That song says, he saw the best in me. My CD's coming too. No, I'm playing. But it says, he saw the best in me when everyone else around could only see the worst in me. He saw the best in me when everyone else around could only see the worst in me. It goes on to say, he's mine, I'm his. It doesn't matter what I did. He only sees me for who I am. Songs like that. So he plays this in the locker room now. And as you can imagine, it went from like a little drop to, right? And at this time I had a little bit of practice. It's like, tell me to breathe, tell me to breathe. They're like, Sam, breathe. I'm like, tell me to breathe, Sam, breathe. My teammate now looks at me. He says, it's good to see you, Ach. They call me Ach. Hey, Ach, it's good to see you. What does it mean to be seen? All of us now. I'm not talking about like the pretty put together. I'm talking about the deep, the dark, the lust, the greed, the lies, the anger. I'm talking about the struggles. Some of us struggle with power and using people. Some of us struggle with pornography, right? What do we do with our emotions? This counselor said, man, when you bottle it up, you got to find a way to let it out. All these things that we do, power, pornography, all these things, like they're symptoms. They're symptoms. It's a symptom that we're not letting ourselves be seen. We're not being kind to ourselves. Dude told me, be kind to yourself. The body keeps the score. So this anger that we deal with, this frustration, this doubt, this insecurity, when we keep it in, we feel trapped, we feel stuck. We feel like we're empowered, but we're not. We're not. We are fragile when we're like this, easily broken. But the reason we are like that is that we haven't seen ourselves the way that God sees us. We haven't seen ourselves the way that God sees us. See, as I was sitting over there looking and hanging and watching, I didn't see a bunch of men, sitting angry. I'm like, man, this is a body of believers. God is saying, man, like I'm getting my sons together. These are my sons in whom I'm well pleased. Before Jesus started his ministry, Luke 3:21, before Jesus even started his ministry, before he started his work, he received an affirmation. Before Jesus went in his ministry, he received affirmation. In Luke 3:21-23, it's when Jesus goes to get baptized by John the Baptizer, or John the Baptist, right? And Jesus goes and gets baptized, and at that moment, it says that a dove came down and rested on him, right? As he's being baptized. At that moment, Jesus is, right, being baptized, but also at that moment, Luke 3:21-23, God the Father, it says there was a voice from heaven. And that voice said, "This is my son, I am pleased with him, in whom I'm well pleased. This is my son. And from that moment, now from that affirmation on, is when Jesus' ministry began. So I think a lot of us, like we're sitting down and we're happy and we're excited, but we're here. And I'm like, man, God, what are we here to receive? Like, why are you here? Right? Yes, thank you for being here, but why are you here? I think a lot of you may have been looking for what I was looking for, right? Someone to say, I'm proud of you. I'm for you. I see you. I know you. I love you. This is my son, in whom I'm well pleased. A lot of us have never opened up to receive that. We show pieces of ourselves, show parts of ourselves. Certain people, right? This group will get this side of me. This group will get this side. This group will get this. We show pieces. We don't show our full selves. It's funny, I told you I love numbers and words. And think about even in math, like there's a word, integer. It means whole number, right? It's where the word integrity comes from. You're going to math, you learn about integers, right? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. These are whole numbers. And if you're not an integer, a whole number, 0, 1, 2, 3, you are a fraction. Half, 1.5, 1.75, 3.2, right? You are not full. And I feel like God in this moment wants us to be full. Better yet, I know that. But before we can be full, we need that affirmation. We need to be reminded of who we are. Be reminded that, yes, when everyone else sees the worst in you, he sees the best. I've been praying as a father, as I come to a close, I've been praying, God, help me to see my son the way that you see him. My daughter, my wife, help me to see them the way that you see them, as opposed to seeing them through my fragmented frames. Because when I see my kids, I don't see, there's not like this joy and love. It's like, man, I know I messed up here. I don't want you to feel that pain. So don't do that. Don't be that kind, Caleb. They will hurt you. Don't be that open. Every time I pick him up from school, he goes, he had a best friend, Nathan. In front of everybody, every time he sees his friend Nathan, he hugs him. My son's a big kid. Hugs him. He picks him up. He's a big kid. He picks him up. Says, I'll see you tomorrow. Every single day, he's a loving, kind, full child. Yet me, I see that. I say, no, because that's going to hurt you. Be like this. Be protected, but be fragile. And God says, no, be open. This is my son. These are my sons. You are my sons. And I am pleased with you. I know we're just beginning. I know there's more to come. But I need to remind you all that God is pleased with you. God is pleased with you. God knows exactly what you've done. He knows where you've been. He knows where you're going. And he is still pleased with you. He died for you. He rose for you. Right? He lives forever for you. He's our intermediary, right? When we sin, when we fail, you heard Tom talk about like these accusations, the devil's accusing God saying, nope, my blood covers him. That's my child. That's my son. That's my man. And watch what he's going to do, not just for this generation, but for generations to come. You all are generation makers, young and old, whether you have kids or not. You are world changers. And so like you're here for a reason. The enemy wants you to feel doubt and fear and frustration and anger and God said, it's okay to be angry, but bring it to me first. It's okay to have those thoughts, but filter those thoughts through me first. It's okay that you did what you did and went where you went. I have forgiven you. I cast your sins as far as the east is from the west. This is my son in whom I'm well pleased. Last story, before I left and got a chance to come up here, my flight was delayed a little bit, and the night before, after that thing with my son, like, go do it yourself, right? Remember the shower? He's like, Daddy, can we play catch? I was like, no, I'm busy. I got stuff to do. I was angry. I was like, man, I'm going to leave tomorrow. I'm not going to see my kids. God, I wish I had an opportunity, right? I can't believe what I did. And by the grace of God, my flight was delayed. There's bad weather in Chicago, so my kids stayed at home. I got a chance in between some of my shows arguing with Stephen A. Smith. I got a chance to play catch with my son. God is a God who forgives. God is a God who forgives. So let us change our posture and open ourselves to God's forgiveness. Let's pray. God, thank you so much for this time. Thank you for these men. God, thank you for this community. God, thank you for Pastor Tom bringing these people together. God, thank you for the fact that we show up and we continue to show up, even in our brokenness, in our doubt, in our fear, in our frustration, in our confusion. God, thank you for having us show up. God, thank you for being pleased with us, for affirming us, for reminding us of who you are, and therefore reminding us of who we are. And now, since we know who we are, we can remind those around us, our children, our friends, our coworkers, our employees, our employers, our wives, our community. We can remind them of who they are as well. You see the best in me when everyone else around only sees the worst in me. Thank you, Jesus, for seeing the best in me. Amen.